Hi everyone, it's Chris from Barefoot Beginner. Last week I published a recommended shoe guide. You've got to be very careful when you recommend shoes because everybody is different and it's not always as simple as you think. But I wanted to share a few of my personal experiences with quite a few shoes, and over the coming weeks what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a series of posts on individual shoes, but I just thought I'd do an overview before I go and show you what led me from running in something like this, which is my original Nike Pegasus, which had orthotics and all sorts in, to running pretty much barefoot. I get to try, I'm very lucky, I get to try lots of different shoes. Some of them work for me, some of them don't, and I just wanted to show you the ones that have stood the test of time with me. They might work for you, they might not, but I'd recommend that you find out from the ground up really and find out what works for you. So, I'm going to start off, they're not mine, they're my daughter's. Those ones are mine. This is a zero shoe. You can see it's starting to unravel a little bit, but that doesn't bother me at all. This is a zero shoe, 4mm. I trust this shoe and I run in it a lot. It's cheap and many people I know run in 4mm zeros and do very well. My daughter has a pair, blue with pink laces. My son has a slightly thicker pair, which are the 6mm. We were just trying out different things, and he runs in those. And on Barefoot Beginner, you'll see me and him running along a local road quite happily in those, and he bombs along in them. Alright, so this is my shoe of choice at the moment. This is a Vibram 5-finger ELX, so entry level cross trainer I think it stands for. I've never really gotten on with 5 fingers, to be honest, but this shoe has changed my mind, and at the moment, if I was going out for a run this morning, this is the shoe. I might not put it on my feet, but I'd probably take it with me, just in case. And I have run quite a long way in these shoes, and works well. It contrasts with, this one is Trek Sport, and this was my first 5 finger, and I couldn't actually get my little toe into the end pocket. And it feels, if you listen, it's one of the most built-up shoes that I've got, I think, or certainly one of the most substantial and heavy shoes that I've got. It's a great shoe. It just doesn't quite work for me. I get a little bit of a niggle in my calf when I run in this. Not the fault of the shoe, it's just that I don't run very well in it. Don't get the same feeling when I run in these. Much thinner sole. Yeah, you can see it's completely different. They're both nice and flexible, but at the moment I absolutely love these, and it's almost like they're sprayed onto my feet, and my little toe fits into here no problem, and I'm getting much better at just pulling them on, pulling them off in the middle of a run. And which leads me on to sort of the much maligned Freet. The Freet, I commented about the designer Andrew, and it turns out, or so I've been told over the last week or so, it's actually a Chinese company that owns the patents, not something that I knew. But I've been running quite happily in this shoe for quite a while. It's definitely a work in progress, it's not there yet. But having said that, I actually really enjoy running in it. The sole is thermoplastic, and yeah, it's pretty solid, and it gives you a little bit more of a squidgy ride, and it's not unpleasant. And I've run on some very rocky trails in this shoe. It also feels very secure on my feet and certainly warm, and I think during the winter I'll probably wear this quite a lot, and I enjoy running in this shoe much more than I enjoy running in the Trek Sport, which is much more expensive. If I had to choose between these two, I'd choose the ELX every time. But the Freet, for all its criticism that it's come up for, I actually enjoy running in it. So I'll certainly be out in it during the winter. Right, back to the shoe that started it all for me, which was a Vivo Barefoot Evo. My first pair was a yellow pair, which was slightly too small. I've got 41, a 41 ladies, which was, and I'm a 42 men. I took the insole out and ran in it, got used to it, and they became like old friends, and they were around somewhere, and when I was starting to do this video, I went to have a look and I couldn't find them. But they're frayed down here. This is the second generation, and not had that kind of problem with them at all. I like this shoe. Feels a little bit big on me compared with the 41, but that's because the 41 was really snug. But it's still a shoe that I trust. It's got an insole that you can take in and out. If I take it out, it's a bit cavernous. So I need the insole in, so I get a bit of a softer ride, and I think that might affect my form a little bit. But still, it's still a very good shoe. My son, who's 10 years old, this is his Vivo Barefoot. This is a Neo, and my son is a typical boy. He has trashed these shoes. These have been going a long time. His mum won't let him wear them anymore in company because they're completely smashed to pieces. But they're holding together, and you can see that he's got a lot of wear out of them. I was quite impressed. I didn't think they'd hold together as long as they did. But if given the choice, he'd reach for them because he says that they are comfy. So it's not a bad option for children, and it's better built than I thought it was going to be. Luna. My Luna sandals. You can see that they are well worn. Mine were original Luna, and you can see my toe prints. And it was before we had sort of the clip lace in there, so I needed to tie them. And so you can tell that they're quite old, and I've done quite a few miles in these. I love my Lunas. They're completely different than it's a completely different sort of concept, I think, than the Zero. Zero gives you a lot of ground feel, and you feel everything through the 4mm. The Lunas, you don't. The Luna's more like a solid, doesn't sound that solid, but it is. More of a solid piece of ground that you take with you on a run, and so that every footstep you've got something consistent. I always feel fast in these, and I don't like walking around in them during the day. I just don't feel comfortable in them. It doesn't quite suit. But when I start to run in them, everything makes sense and they work really well. And these were an impulse buy, and I really wanted a pair, and it was a craving, and I was really glad I got them. And sooner or later, I'd urge everybody to at least try one pair of Lunas. Okay, this is the Walsh. This is the shoe from my hometown. This is the shoe that I've posted about a couple of times, and it is it's made in Bolton in Lancashire, and it's got a huge distinguished history, but with an EVA midsole in. Walsh made this pair. This was the first ever pair made without an EVA midsole, and I've thrashed these around on the moors, and they affect my style not a jot, and I have absolutely no trouble in them and completely trust them. During the winter, when I'm up on the moors and it's wet and it's muddy, this is a shoe I'll be reaching for. They make them in very small batches, and if you want to know when the next batch is coming out, then drop me a line and I'll keep you in touch. But because at the minute every pair is made to order, but they're a really, really classy shoe, and they're completely flexible. And although you've got the aggressive outsole, there is not much between that outsole and your foot. And if you want something that you trust when you're coming down a hillside or a mountainside at speed, then the Walsh has been that shoe for decades. To make it without an EVA midsole is a good job. Great shoe. Last one is a Run Amok. These have just been in the washing machine, which is why they're still sparkly and white. They weren't, they were covered in mud. I really like this shoe. This is the Run Amok from Softstar. They were kind enough to send them to me, and I've done a fair few miles in them. The first run I did in them, I was up on Windsor Hill in the West Pennine Moors in a thunderstorm, and I was running through deep water at times, and they handled it fine. What I really like about this is it just feels, it feels quality. The leather, the fact that the Vibram sole is cut, I don't know if you can see that on the bottom, just feels like there's not much between you and the ground. They're sort of a big grown-up version of the Sockwear. The Sockwear, I've got a pair of Sockwear somewhere, but they're in a bum bag because the Sockwear, I have to confess, I don't run a lot of miles in. They come with me on a lot of runs because I can carry them with me easily, and it's a sort of just-in-case shoe. But these shoes, I can see me wearing a lot during the winter, if only around the house when it's really cold, because I've got tiles on the floor and they're cold. Then I'll probably be wearing these, but I'll certainly be doing a fair few miles. So that's a quick overview, and what I'll do is I'll post more about these shoes over the coming weeks. So for the time being, have a look on Barefoot Beginner, see what you think. Thanks. Bye bye.